With us now in studio is William Sempus. Bill is the CEO of T3 Motion Incorporated. TTTM is their stock symbol. Bill, always good to see you.
Good to see you, Don. Thank you very much for having me on the show today.
You're going to do something a little bit different, something we haven't done in nearly 20 years of doing this program. I'm going to kind of give you the floor and let you take it away.
You know, Don, I appreciate that very much. As you recall, when I first came on your show roughly a year and a half ago, I came in with TTTM and had come into the office of CEO of T3 Motion. It was a small micro cap that had been losing a lot of money. The board had recently voted to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy on the company. I was an investor that had invested more than $500,000 in the company personally. And I came in and talked to the board, and the board agreed to put me in after the resignation of the previous CEO, as the new CEO to run the company in a last attempt to try and save the company. So when I came into office, the company was running operating expenses about $800,000 a month. Was burning $525,000 a month in net operating losses, had $40 million in carry forward losses from the inception of the company. Just had tremendous problems from one end of the world to the other. I came in and basically over the course of 22 months, I worked for free for the company. I made aggregate loans to the company of more than $1 million, funded the company out of my pocket, and began the process of trying to rebuild the organization, restructure its debt and everything else that was required to try and save it. So at the time I came into office, we had about $7.5 million of debt, of which 4.3 of it was secured. I was one of the secured creditors in the company. We had literally no cash. We were in the middle of a delisting proceeding at the NYSE, and it was a very, very big and long and tedious challenge to try and get the company to where we got it to. So throughout 2013 and 2014, we moved facilities, we wrote insurances, we restructured every single thing, our entire supply chain, and rebuilt the company from the ground up. By the time we were done with the effort in late 2014, we basically had a new company. We had new plans, we had great growth potential, we had done new designs for the company that were actually projected to generate up to maybe $50 million within 2 years in terms of revenue. We had been a part of the competition out of Red Herring, out of Northern California, Alex View, and had won the Global Top 100 Technology and CEO Award there. Red Herring is the organization that first discovered, funded, and promoted Google, Yahoo, Facebook, all the big firms out of Northern California. And we were very privileged to be a part of that competition and then to win it on a global basis. As we came out of that, we had a lot of opportunities for capital. So we went out knowing that we had debt that was due, and some of that being secured, and we began to raise capital. So we had $4.3 million of secured debt. We raised and had agreements in place for $15 million of new funding for the company. We had a situation that a lawyer was representing two parties doing the due diligence. So we had an investor A and an investor B. Investor A was out of China, investor B was out of Spain. The Spanish company that was a part of this transaction, builds all the composite body parts for Boeing, for Airbus, for BMW and their i3 and i8 series composite materials. Great opportunity for the company. So upon funding the first $6 million out of the Chinese investor, I settled $750,000 of delinquent accounts for $250,000. I settled basically another $3.5 million of secured and unsecured debt as well. And the company was left in a position that, it had $1.5 million in the bank, it had another $10 million coming in the coming weeks. I was the only remaining creditor. So in terms of the first investor coming into the company, I was required to invest about $2 million of my debt, converting it to stock. So what's happened now is that investor has now gone into a Delaware court and blocked my rights to convert that debt and attempted to take control of the company. And they did this all based upon the transfer of company board confidential information from one of our board members who was thrown out of office, which is the original founder of the company. His name was Keenam. He sent confidential board information to this private investor who then filed a lawsuit to block the actions of the company, to bring in the new capital. We've been in a Delaware court now for about 5 months. It's been a very, very difficult time for the company because the company has been restrained from being able to conduct its business and the plans that we had for the company. I should probably come back and give you the rest of the story.
I wish we had more time because it's a compelling story, so I will invite you back to finish the story. Once again, T3 Motion Incorporated, TTTM is their stock symbol. Bill, I appreciate you coming in here telling us this story. I really look forward to part 2 in a coming episode. Thanks for joining us.
Don, thank you again for having me. I have a great appreciation for our shareholders and your viewers, sir.